Ribbon ban coming out. So maybe actually Saints Gaming being a little scared of what's going to come into that top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, part of the problem that we ran into wasn't, like, Ribbon definitely carried a lot of those team fights in the later stages of the game, which you can see Saints Gaming is really focused on with these bans. But I don't know if that was their biggest issue, because it was really the snowballing that happened in the bottom lane, and Draven snowballs better than anyone.
Yeah, for sure. That triple kill going over to Draven in the early game was a big changeover for how the flow of the game was going. And we're already seeing Shen come out, Shen and Graves coming out for Saints Gaming. I think these are two really strong picks. I think Shen is going to be a good pick for Falcon here. He's going to be able to impact that map once he hits level 6. He's going to be able to do a lot of good for his team in Graves, as we talked about last game. Just being such a strong pick right now. And once again, third game in a row, Vigar is going to come out. That cage just being so devastating to some of these fights.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that was a pretty major factor as well. You know, I don't know how many of those team fights at the end there started out with a big Vigar stun, and you can see we have the exact same team comp for the bottom and mid lane coming out of high performance. That's going to be very tough. It's going to be absolutely tough to try to combat that, and how do you finish up these last two bans for the Saints to not let the same thing happen?
I think they're going to definitely have to focus on the jungle here. They're going to have to try to take away the jungle pressure and then let bot play around that strong Graves, as well as pick something
no problem
AD carry role that's going to be able to either be safe or fight the Glorious Executioner. And as we know, there's really not that much that Draven is scared of early game. Maybe even see like a Mordekaiser come out of bot lane. Ooh. I think that'd be a really interesting play. It's becoming a lot more popular right now in solo queue because of the recent changes. But I think they're going to play a more standard comp.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. Now, one thing I'm concerned with from the Saints right now is they really need to package some damage with these last two picks. I can't stress enough when you've got Tahm Kench. Okay, there we go. So we've got one coming out. I think they need to fill up some more damage, but Graves does definitely do quite a bit of damage, but I don't think it's enough to carry, you know, the lack of damage coming up from Shen and Tahm Kench. So we'll see what their last pick is, but on the opposite side, they're already good to go with damage. Now it's just utility, maybe a little bit more damage, but mostly utility, a little bit of tankiness in there, and I think they're going to round out that comp nicely.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see something like a Fiora, something that can really pressure that top lane and win the split push.
Yep.
And from Saints Gaming, I'd really like to see something like a Valkai's or Xerath. Just somebody that can push those waves early game, late game, and really get the poke onto Vigar and Draven, because I think if they can kind of shoot past that front line, I think they're going to have a really strong team fight, especially with the poke that Jhin brings as well. And there's the Camille right there. We're seeing that really aggressive pick in that top lane. Going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto Shen as the game moves on.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing I will say is this is kind of leading to a little bit of a squishy team here between Camille, Draven, Vigar. Camille definitely has some opportunity for a little bit of tankiness there, but still, I think overall the damage that they're going to be dealing is from a very squishy comp. I think if Saints can focus on that Olaf, back it up, and deal with this pressure, that'd be a really strong thing for them. And they actually pick a Nivea, which is a great counter to Olaf. But on the opposite end, again, I still think there's going to be a little bit of trickiness finding the damage to be dealt from the Saints. So great opportunity here for high performance to just turn things around. I think slow down not slow down the team fight, steamroll forward with the team fights, send in Olaf, send in Camille, and just try to drop as many characters as fast as they can. Probably going to be the strategy for these guys.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. And then the main way that Saints Gaming is going to be able to fend off such a strong, aggressive forward push from high performance.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing? Are you high?
Yeah, the strong push forward from high performance.
Yes.
Is going to be that Nivea wall, but at the same time, as you said, they lack a lot of that strong engage that high performance has, and their main engage tool is most likely going to be that Nivea wall. So it's going to be a really delicate balance from Saints Gaming to see if they're going to be able to get the engage or the disengage.
That's right. You got to separate the Olaf from the pack.
Yeah.
Slice up the loaf with that Anivia wall, get him separated, and hopefully have enough damage to pack in behind it to drop him. But I know I think my most recent maybe 20 games have been with Olaf. Got a lot to say about that man, and he's really tough to deal with in the back line. It's hard to focus on him. He moves extremely quickly, but luckily there's not a whole ton of skill shots coming out from this team. Tom Kench has got one, Graves has got one, but for the most part, between Jin and Graves, their damage is going to be a lot of auto attacking, which is nice. Anivia is going to have a little bit of a tough time, though, I can say that for sure.
Yeah, I really like that Tom Kench pick as well. Not only does it synergize really well with Jin, who's a relatively immobile AD carry early game, until he really starts to get that movement speed from the crit. He's also somebody that's going to be able to eat your carries and protect them from that Olaf. He's going to be he's essentially going to be a second health bar for these champions when that Olaf is rushing in.
Is Olaf the scariest man in League of Legends?
No, I think Gragas is.
Why?
Because he's like 2 tons of weight coming at you, and you know that as soon as he hits you, he's gonna knock you back into his team.
I don't know, man. That big.
I'd never fight a drunk man as big as him. So.
That big beard, that big beard, so tasty, so scary.
That or Pugma, because there's nothing as realistic as Pugma in the game.
Yeah, that's true. That is horrifying.
It is something that I wish they never did, but we can't be that grateful.
You know, I don't always cast this way, but I always think when, especially when we're in the loading screen, I look at the teams and I go, all right, I'm walking down a dark hallway. Who on this roster is the person that I least want to see? You know, I think the person I'd most want to see is maybe like Graves. He seems like a cool guy. He'd be like leaning back, foot against the wall, just kicking it, smoking a cigar. Probably invite me to a poker game. But I feel like running into like an Alistar or an Olaf, Draven would probably pickpocket you know.
Draven is the glorious executioner. Being pickpocketed would probably be the best outcome there.
He's got yeah, that's true. You probably get away from that one if all he does is pick. But he's got that greasy mustache. He just looks like a guy that wants to steal your wallet.
You know, I definitely agree there. He reminds me of the Scarlet Chorus, which is from a completely different game.
Oh.
But he is somebody that is all about the power. Definitely one of the cornerstones for the Noxus regime. But I'd actually have to be most scared of Camille. She mostly only appears in her battle costume when she needs to take out essentially the trash. And she's got blades on her leg. So, you know, that'd be kind of terrifying because I know she's going to be coming there to end me.
For business.
Yeah.
Business only.
Yeah, Tom Kench, you know, I'd be okay with. He's going to grant my wish before he takes me into the depths, so.
At least you get that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're loading in here, guys. It's going to be, again, just potentially game point here. A little bit of a pause coming out to start. I think they're going to be starting up very quickly. Don't mind this. I don't think it's going to take too long. But I will say that going into this one, I don't know where do you see these guys going at level 1? Are they going to try to invade? Are they going to fan out, protect their entrances? Does anyone have a significant advantage? What are you thinking here?
So I think the first step is that they're going to leave base. And then after that, I think they're going to just watch. I feel like Saints Gaming has the better level 1, only because that Anivia stun can really get everybody and at range. But really, both teams have not only good CC, but decent damage. Olaf is someone in the early game when we actually see both teams coming up here. Both of them looking for the level 1. And if they walk into the bush here,
oh, here we go. A big fight coming in. Shed with a massive taunt. Starting things off. Camille going extremely low. Tom Kench leading the charge. He has to flash back. First blood goes to Draven. Terrible turnaround for the Saints here, but it looks like Olaf in the back. He's going to go down. It's a 4v4. Absolutely wild start here, but still a little bit of a lead because Draven got that kill and the first blood. So tense to start things off, starting the game with 949 gold before the clock starts ticking.
Definitely just a crazy play here. We're going to rewind that again. And Navia just getting a massive 3-man stun. We notice that Shen doesn't even get content. The Alistar really saving that for his team right there. Being able to get that 4-man knockdown really turn that around in the early fight.
Oh my god, that was so wild. And good on Shen to not pick an ability until they got into that fight. And just a beautiful taunt. I thought that was possibly going to be just a full cleanup in favor of the Saints, but it does go, I gotta say, reacting very nicely was High Performance. Just doing an excellent job of turning that team fight around and taking a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, definitely there. Really interesting early level 1 for both teams. We talked about the strengths just before that happened, and we could really see there both teams not only having the CC, but just the early damage coming out there from both teams. And Draven there being able to pick up that sword just because of that first blood, and the first game coming into the top lane.
Oh, here we go. Graves coming in. He's got that red buff and level 2. Going to do quite a bit of damage, and it's important to note that Camille, if you notice, took her shield, actually. She doesn't have flash, and she took her shield because she was about to die in that first fight. So neither Shen nor Camille have really good combating abilities.
Yeah, her passive coming up, being able to give her shield.
Yeah, sorry.
Really effective right there.
Listen.
And her dash away just being really strong to open up that gap and being able to go aggressive right here.
Yeah, see that shield right there that I thought was an ability? It technically is, but it's a passive. But regardless, she did nothing in the fight. It's kind of, I guess, kind of what I'm getting at there. But anyways, really, really wild start to this game here. And again, some more damage coming in from this bottom lane here as Draven getting a lot of damage off with those spinning blades, and Alistar with that headbutt pulverized combo. Just a little bit too strong in that early game. Yeah,
Draven just getting that big advantage and having that first blood, already being up so much gold, and now he's just getting the advantage in the CS. And it seems like it's going to be another really clean game on the Draven lane. They're going to have to find a way to either slow him down or maybe have that Jhin play to the late game, but there's no real advantage right now. It's too early to really say.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Though I will say that extra longsword is feeling pretty good right now for Draven. Just getting that first kill always feels good, especially when you're in a really tense matchup like this one. Now in comes Olaf, stun going into the middle lane, top lane. It looks like Graves getting a gank down as well. Anivia does escape that one, but unfortunately having to burn that flash, and Camille actually has to run away from that one as well, and does get away. I gotta hand it to her for that.
Yeah, both of these teams being really aggressive in the early game, and I think that's what they really do have to do to win this game. They have to take the early game advantage, but they can't give up any of these objectives. They can't give up any of the goals. And Graves just there, trading off some damage, not able to pick up the little ones, but able to pick up the middle ones. And Camille just looking to see if she could help out. Nothing really in there.
Yeah, that's a big waste of time, I gotta say. One thing I've noticed with Ramiro, and you can absolutely back me up on this one, he is unbelievably aggressive in terms of invading the enemy jungler. When he was Graves, when he's against Graves, it doesn't really matter to him. He's just trying to pick and choose the spots and time out when to get into the enemy jungle to pick up a kill, steal some camps, do whatever he can, but it's just not working out for him both games.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going aggressive. But this game being on the Olaf and having that extra jungle speed that an Olaf can really provide you in the early game, we actually noticed that most of his jungle was cleared except for the golems and the raptor cannons that just came up. So he's able to actually keep up in the farm this game and not fall so far behind that we saw in the last game where it was 36 to 12 CS.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a devastating performance there in that bottom lane. But and you can see a huge lead already piling up here. You've got 18 CS. That is a huge, huge amount of gold. 700 gold in the lead for Draven right now. And only 400 of that is from that kill. So really, really tough spot to be in. And it looks like Graves actually coming down here. Might be looking for a gank in the bottom lane, maybe mid, maybe just scuttle.
Yeah, it's great. Draven just absolutely having the advantage in the bot lane right now. And he's just going to be pushing that advantage as far as he can.
Ooh. Here we go. Graves jumps in, throws out that smoke screen. But in comes Olaf. He's got a buff on him right now. And he's trying to take down Hoyen, and he absolutely does the job. Camille coming out of nowhere. I had absolutely no idea she was in there. Stun going down onto Hamiro, but Hamiro pressing forward, picks up the axe, looking for more damage. Is he going to get that last axe? He doesn't need it. Enough damage coming out of Camille and Vigor. In comes the ultimate from Shen. I don't know if this is the right move. Down goes Anivia, and now you've got Shen in a bad position as well. Meanwhile, bottom lane taking a beating as well as Jhin forced to go back, and this is absolutely a steamroll in the first 6 minutes in favor of High Performance.
Yeah, High Performance really showing that they know how to perform under high pressure.
Oh, wow, wow, nice one. They're absolutely killing it, and you can see here headbutt going down, pushing H-Snipe back a little bit there. Kill going down in favor of Alistar, and he'll absolutely take that trade. That's going to leave Draven in a great position to free farm that lane or just go back and shop. Either way, they're losing out on those minions in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Little unfortunate that Draven couldn't pick up the kill for the extra gold. But I actually think it's not too bad of a trade there. Graves is going to be able to really get the bonus there.
All right, so now we got to be thinking here, when you've got this much of a lead, even though it's early in the game, you still got to think of it in terms of not what's on the clock, but what's in the bank. What kind of objectives are you thinking about? Is the Ocean Drake worth it at this point? Are you looking just to continue the pattern you've been going down? Do you focus on a turret? What are we looking at here for the next 3 minutes for these guys?
I think a lot of it is going to be where they can make plays. The objectives are all going to be good options, but they're going to have to make sure that they're safe in doing so. We already see Draven having a huge lead. Shen's ultimate is down. Half the cooldown is already expired, but they still need to look for these opportunities. And right now, it doesn't look like they have any. And it's also interesting to see that Saints Gaming picked up 3 minion destabilizers this game. And it actually looks like Vigar might change his build this game. Just to make it, oh, and the nice stun going over the wall. Just not able to follow with the damage, the wall falling on the wrong side that time.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. Tom Kent was actually not following up there. Kind of close enough. I think they might have been able to do some damage there, but ultimate comes out from Camille, trying to take out this Tom Kent. In comes Alistar with the headbutt pulverized, going straight through that Vigar stun wall. And Tom Kenchlow is going to use that plant to just bounce himself away and separate himself cleanly from that fight. Ooh, but another fight going down here. Graves finds himself the victim of the Olaf ultimate with red buff and the axe. You absolutely cannot get away from that.
Yeah, Olaf there just being true to his nature, going as aggressive as he can, and Shen backing off, too scared of the blast coming down there. I think they could have been able to take that fight into the 2v1 pack, but Graves left out to dry there as the Camille comes back. And I was actually surprised to see Camille on the bot side trying to look for any plays, but it seems to have worked out for them in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, man. Absolutely true to his nature. He's so hard to stop, especially right around the point where he gets his ultimate. Level 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right around those points, you don't have a lot of options. The Anivia wall isn't big enough to block him out. You don't have the move speed you need. You know, Graves with level 1 boots. It's so difficult to get away from an Olaf at the early stage of the result.
Yeah, and just a lot of damage coming out from the Draven, just going so aggressive. Actually having, losing the trade just a little bit right there, but Alistar going to be able to kind of slowly heal him back up using the passive and the stacks he's got there. And just a lot of aggression coming up for both teams. A 3k gold lead already closing in here at 10 minutes. Something that we didn't even see 4k gold lead last game. High Performance just taking a really strong early game here.
That's right, and I think that's been the case literally every game, even the game that the Saints won. It was High Performance in the early and mid stages of the game that had it, and it was just one massive team fight. So we know that there is potential for Saints to turn it around. You know, if anything, you can describe that second game as a huge turnaround game, but do they have it in the tank and in the comp to do it in this one? It's a very different comp, very different types of pressure here. Ooh, here we go. Camille jumping over the wall, looking for that ultimate, gets that down. Shen ultimate comes in as well, and you do have the Anivia passes, so she's going to resurrect it. Olaf flashing into the back lines there, trying to find Camille, or trying to catch up to Camille here as she's getting away from this one. And Hamiro bold enough to stick around and finish this camp, while Hoyen jumps into the fray here, trying to finish this one off, and Hamiro takes the gold. Gets that final smite onto that Raptor. No kills, but I think a pretty good exchange for High Performance.
Yeah, I think High Performance there, still making the plays, able to get the summoner spells down there. And the main difference of that fight, having Shen all up, having Anivia with that second line, being able to keep her alive, almost going down in the egg form to Vigar, but just barely living there. And Olaf just making full use of that ultimate, knowing he doesn't have to flash away. The Shen taunt just passing through him, not really giving him any trouble.
Yeah, that's right. And I will say, you know, luckily they did have the Anivia passive because my goodness, they basically killed that Anivia under turret 1.5 times. You know, they did a ton of damage to her, brought her down to half health with that egg. Unfortunately, couldn't scramble it all the way through, so she did end up surviving that one, and it has a long wait time until her passive is back online.
Yeah, I think Anivia likes her eggs that side up to begin with.
Yeah, well, yeah, quite. No, I think she likes her eggs raw and undamaged. But anyways, here we go. A big gank coming in here. Graves steps into the fray, trying to get the kill on Jin. Jin does survive that one, but a teleport coming in here from Vigor. I don't think he's going to be fast enough to catch up here, but Graves does get popped up, jumps over that wall, and Vigor flashes over the wall. He's going to continue the chase in the top lane. A lot of damage going down. Tom Ketch gets stunned, has the great health, but isn't quick enough, or he's stunned, so he couldn't turn that gray health into a shield, unfortunately. Boyan now being damaged under turret. He's probably going to pick up the kill on, yeah, he picks up the kill, and does he get a double kill? He does get the double kill, and he survives.
The
and
heal
Olaf
right there from
actually
the kill.
stepping into the fray here as well. Massive fight. Is he going to turn it around? He goes down. One more turret shot, not going to be enough. But still not a bad exchange, but still in favor of high performance.
Actually, I believe it went 3-3 there in the end, just
right.
because of the Draven going down in that early play. But it also allowed Anivia to stay in that mid lane and catch a bit up on her farm. But the first turret there, going down right now. Shen just moments late there. It's got to hurt right there, feeling that.
Yeah, the pain of lost money. It's like checking your pockets when you just got off a bench. Money fell out of your pocket. You don't want to go back for it. You can't anyways because some other dude picked it up. It's gone. It's gone. But, you know, that does lead to a little bit more of a lead in favor of high performance. They pick up a little bit more gold lead, about 4K right now. Again, that's that slow constriction, that slow just choking out, using that gold lead to just slowly increase. Really smartly played here, all 3 games that we've seen so far from high performance.
Yeah. And I think right now Saints Gaming is going to want to try to find the money that someone's dropped on the ground. Maybe some of the players should invest in zip pockets, zip them up and lock their money away. But oh, and we actually see the Tom Ketch coming in for the
Here we go, Tom Ketch and Graves jumping in. Camille ultimate goes down. Camille getting extremely low though, and sideways trying to escape this one as well. He jumped into that team fight to just back everyone away, but now that ultimate's about to go down, about to take full damage. Tom Ketch swallows him up, and that is going to be a clean kill in favor of Saints Gaming. Now, there are 4 or 5 characters are top side. Are they going to be taking down this Rift Herald? I don't know. In comes the Shen ultimate, but Blinn probably going to go. Oh, he gets swallowed by the Tom Ketch. And Olaf does not have the ultimate anymore. Everybody try to find that kill on Blinn. Camille's going to be the one to do it. Takes a little bit of damage in the process. But Saints Gaming probably going to walk away with a huge lead from this fight. Now closing that gold gap by about 1,500 gold at the end of that fight and getting the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the play that went in the favor of Saints Gaming. I don't think anyone can deny that. With really aggressive Olaf going in there. Draven able to push up the bottom line, but Anivia is starting to get some weaknesses, starting to get the gold back. Saints Gaming, I think they needed to be a little bit more careful though, only because Graves right now has all of those kills being really concentrated on him. A lot of gold right there. I think they need to be a little careful right now. They need to take more time, and they need to let their carries scale, because they're falling just a little bit behind in terms of gold.
Absolutely, yeah. If we take a look here, going towards that top side, Shen actually with a pretty decent lead over Camille right now, and I think that's a lot of that's been because Camille's being so aggressive. She's been harassed, she's been yanked, she's running away from lane. It's a really tough time for her up in that top lane. In the jungle, of course, you've seen Olaf be super aggressive. He's got the lead there. Mid lane, Vigor obviously is doing quite well for himself. He's farming up like crazy. And then bottom lane, can't really talk too much about that. That is way in the favor of Draven. Started things off on the right foot, just snowballed it forward, and now losing a Drake for Saints Gaming.
Already with that 60 CS lead, he's just so far ahead. Already working towards the second item, where we see that they're still racking boots on the Jin. And the Brisker, they're just getting spawned mid. They know that there's 3 bot. This is going to delay it a bit, but it's really not going to delay the tower going down here. But I think a big fight's going to come out. Shen only has the ultimate. And it looks like they're actually going to be
gotta
able to
run.
get away here.
They gotta run. In comes Olaf. He's got that ultimate. He's gonna run through all the CC. In comes Alistar with a massive headbutt pulverizer. Anivia's in the egg. You got a bit of a distraction factor going down there. Camille jumping into the backline. Tom Kench trying to fight the Draven. That's clearly not gonna work out too well for him. Jin with, I think, the first ultimate of his own of the game. Very well protected behind that turret, but it's gonna be a 1-for-3 exchange so far, and probably gonna turn around for a turret take in favor of High Performance. A wild fight there, and Olaf just going so hamburgers.
Yeah, definitely. The fight's still going on here. The turret going down as well. Just such a clean fight from High Performance there. And we're just going to back it up right here and watch that one more time, because there is some things that went so right here for High Performance. You see, first off, the Seaguard wall that actually moves content away from the carry. Not able to protect them. And the Draven on just hitting both of them right there. Doing so much damage to the backline with the Olaf. Just so clean and so strong right there. And Tom Kent just over here caught off by himself because of that V-Guard hit. Just zoning them out of the fight.
Absolutely. So, you know, let's jump back to live here and see where things have landed us. As okay, so it only resulted in the tier 1 turret. They still have their top lane turret. Both sides, I gotta say, I gotta hand it to both teams right now. They're playing very, very aggressively in these fights, and that's kind of what we want to see. I think if you're not on the same page, you're gonna lose a pretty huge advantage when you go into those fights. Either everyone's gonna play defensively or everyone's gonna play aggressively, and that's been the case. But you did see a massive split. Olaf just diving straight through the center of that team. We had 3 different paths where everybody on Saints game was just totally split. I think if they stuck together and just hammered on that Olaf when he jumped in, they probably would have had a better time of it.
I definitely agree right there. If they would have been able to focus the Olaf and protect the carries, I think they would have been able to win the fight, or at least minimize the loss.
Absolutely.
But as it is now, they're going to have to give up this last turret. The Draven is doing so much damage once again. The stun coming out, the ultimate from Fish coming in, and just being able to take down the 1 kill. Kind of left on his own because Draven was there taking the turret.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually really funny. I think Olaf, or just the player Hamiro, is kind of rubbing off on his support. He goes so ham, and really no pun intended to his name. He goes absolutely nutty in these team fights, and he just tries to catch absolutely everybody out. Now Draven coming into this one, trying to fight Tom Kench, dodging the Jin ultimate, and he doesn't pick up the kill. Draven absolutely just keeping alive here, doing tons of damage. Hoyen about to go down right now, and just a massive push forward for High Performance. Shen just cannot close the gap on the Draven, and he's probably going to get picked up here as well. No, he dashes forward, but so does Camille. The chase is on. Beautiful wall coming out of Anivia there. Absolutely splitting the gap there and slicing up that team fight, but a 3-for-0 exchange in favor of High Performance.
Yeah, definitely a really good play there by High Performance. And they're looping around once again, and Nivia's left alone here, and we know that Hamaro is going to go for this play. He doesn't have his ultimate up right now, though, so he's not going to be able to do that. But Draven's just doing so much damage. Getting content might be taken down with the turret. Yeah,
they just bullied him under turret, taking turns, taking pock shots, throwing out their abilities, doing damage, and just a little bit too much for Shannon and Ivy to deal with under that turret. So now they're going to back up. They don't take tier 2, which is a really important thing to know. They're just a little bit too low health. Ooh, Hamiro might get caught out here by Tom Kench too. This is so nutty. They're just fighting constantly. Hamiro is swallowed, but there's a stun going down there, and Ape Snipe will pick up the kill.
Yeah, good play there by Ape Snipe. Just being able to pick him off. I think they're going to have to try to go in here right now, get that Vision Baron. It's definitely a real threat. They've already cured, once again, a 7k gold lead at 20 minutes. So we're back to the same point we pretty much were in the last game. Draven, once again, almost on those 3 items, 2.5 items to the 1.5 items of Blinn.
Yep.
So once again, the 80 carry.
Same thing.
Item difference is right there. And I think the difference this game now, though, instead of Oriana, they have Anivia. And she, with Buba, is pretty much a stop. As soon as you walk up to the turret, she's gonna freeze your foot.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be like I don't know. Like I'm trying to pile a list of abilities here, and in what order can they put this together to stop the absolute onslaught when you've got Camille, Olaf, you know, even even Alistar, they're just so far forward in those team fights, and they, between the three of them, have enough damage alone to you can see, pick off Graves, pick off Blinn. What do you do to defend that? Like, how far back do you have to play as Graves, Jhin, and Anivia to stay away from that onslaught?
Honestly, I think there's not much of an opportunity unless Anivia can actually section off the team fight.
Right.
If Anivia is able to move the team fight from a 5v5 to a 3v5, even if that only lasts a few seconds, they're going to be able to have the opportunity to actually kill those people that are diving really well. Olaf, he is really strong right now. We see that he's building a lot of resistances, but when he ults, he does lose all of the passive resistance that his ult gives him. So he is a little bit squishy. I mean, I can see the dragon just going down. Olaf right here.
Yeah, everybody kind of, it's like after the scene of the crime, everybody just splits and runs their own separate ways. Everybody getting away from that dragon steal. So now, you know, same thing as last game, 2 dragons in the favor of high performance as well. I don't think we've seen a dragon go in the favor of Saints Gaming this entire set.
No, I don't believe we have either, except for maybe the second game. But with how things are going, these teams are playing so aggressive. It almost seems like Dragon isn't a priority until they take a moment to slow down. They were fighting almost non-stop for the last 7 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they've started to slow down the game. And they look at the map and they're like, oh, Dragon's up. And then they run over, take it. And Saints Gaming, they're just dark on the map right now. They can only cover their entrances for their jungle. They're not able to walk into the river blind right now. And just coming a little bit too late to that dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit unfortunate, too, because I think if they were just a step 1 second earlier, maybe they wouldn't have gotten the dragon, but they probably could have picked up an Olaf, gotten, you know, Tahm Kench to swallow him, spit him back into the team, maybe pulled some other people forward to defend him. But, you know, unfortunately, it didn't happen. You know, they did pull away the Olaf ultimate. They maybe could have capitalized on that because that's been a huge factor. But he's got that back now as well. So we're just at a total reset, and the only thing we can look at is there is a huge advantage for high performance right now. How do you know, what do they do? How do they organize themselves? We got to see with this next fight.
Yeah, I think right now they're just playing around objective control. They're clearing the wards when they can. But I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive. We see that there is a pink ward from Saints Gaming in the bear pit right now. They should clear that. They should get some, they should have Camille go bot lane right, like she's doing right now, and fight that Shen. Shen, yeah, he's ahead. He's going to have that ultimate. But Camille needs to section him off. Needs to just sit in that lane, get the EXP, and get the farm. And even if they take the game a little bit slow, late game, she's going to be really strong. Olaf trying to catch up with Tahm Kench.
Ooh, here we go. Tahm Kench forced to flash away. Vigor does get that stun cage down, but doesn't hit anything. So this might be a decent advantage. Yes, we did lose the flash from Tahm Kench, but you also lost the Olaf ultimate. I can't stress enough how big of a factor that's been. Great Anivia wall coming in there, but not totally closing the gap. Hoyen gets himself way too far forward and gets picked off. That is a huge disadvantage and likely going to be a loss of a tier 2 turret, maybe a tier 3. Oh, a big flash forward, no ultimate, but still enough to close the gap there. Shen ultimate comes on to Tahm Kench. I don't know if that was the right choice there, but he gets stopped by Camille, or he stopped himself. And now they're fighting in that bottom lane while mid lane still getting hammered down on. They're just going to wait for this next wave, farm up wolves. The devastation is coming down this mid lane.
Yeah, it's clear Olaf doesn't need Predator. He doesn't need his ultimate. All he needs is any one of those abilities, and he's going to jump so hard. He's going to make you burn those stuns. He's going to make you run away. So maybe they're getting those walls down, but not able to follow up with any of those stuns. And unless they get that to engage the Saints Gaming, it's just not there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're totally right. But it's almost like they need to disengage more than they need to engage, especially with the even at neutral, even with a little bit of a lead, I still think they want to disengage. Like, Olaf has one direction. There's no reverse gear. There's no backup. It was ripped out of the car a long time ago. He goes forward and it's 100 miles an hour or bust. So you need to disengage from a guy like that. You need to have him literally run into a wall and just slow him down, slow down that progress, and it's just not happening. you know, one thing I've noticed though, the Anivia wall isn't as big as it will be when it's fully maxed out. Do you think maybe he should have prioritized that over damage?
I definitely think that should have been the second maxed ability.
Okay.
I think that's for a lot of reasons. It's just the tool on their team that makes a lot of sense. I also would have liked to have seen maybe instead of a Graves a Trundle.
Oh, okay.
Just to give even more territory as well as just be really strong. If you ult an Olaf as he runs into the team as a Trundle, and then have a video wall and kill him, they would have been able to actually just section him off and kill him. But Draven just one auto right there, 20% of Anivia's health.
Yeah.
Just insane damage already right there, 60% crit. Olaf not being able to really get anybody, but he's just making this.
Yeah, I mean, when you're walking around with 7 kills, 9 assists, and 170 GCS, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And you're absolutely able to zone off anyone you need to. Turret's going to go down. Actually, Turret's still doing a lot of damage. They need to focus that thing. In comes the block to save him from that fight, but it's just not going to be enough. He's going to back up. He needs to go heal himself as this push is barreling down in the bottom lane, and Veigar creating amazing zoning right now.
I think it's a little greedy for saying game and trying to keep that second tier up. You know that they're already pushed up to your first and that they're going to be able to close you out of it. And the ultimate coming down, doing so much damage to Veigar right there. Yeah, Tom Kench just not having the opportunity to hit that E before the stun roar off. Yeah,
I think Shin had an opportunity to take out the Veigar there. I know it when you're playing against the Veigar, if you stun somebody and he's starting one ability on that guy, you have no threat towards him unless you're that guy. So I think he had a good opportunity to take him down. And now in comes a final push here. Olaf jumping right into the back. Young Falcon's staying alive a really long time there, but Olaf does go down. Sun Cage goes out onto Anivia. The headbutt pulverized, but the egg is still online. They're pushing in. Graves trying to defend this Anivia egg is not going to be enough. Down she goes to the Draven, and Draven jumping into the backline here. So aggressive. Everybody's so aggressive. Veigar now trying to find the kill onto the Graves. Veigar's going to go down. Is this an opportunity for Saints to turn this thing around? Pushing forward now. Camille, half health. Alistar, a quarter health. Tom Kench jumping forward. I don't know what that was. Maybe a misclick.
I believe that was a misclick because he was definitely going to try to go aggressive on those 2 chambers.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna definitely be something that's gonna negatively impact them. They're already down 10k gold, and that would have been the opportunity to really open up the map and maybe even get a Baron. But I think they're gonna have to settle for the Drake here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, you gotta take the advantages as they come, and they did have an advantage coming out of that fight. They're gonna pick this up, a little bit more damage to objectives. Feeling pretty nice. They can put together a push. Unfortunately, once you start getting past that tier 1 territory, no matter what lane you're in, it's very, very risky when the other team's got a lead, especially 11,000 gold.
Yeah, they're just so strong right now and have so many opportunities. That mid inhibitor is down, so it's gonna be a constant threat to Saints Gaming. Baron is still up and alive. We're 30 minutes into the game now, and they're already almost sitting on 60k. The Baron isn't going to last long against this team.
No.
Draven's going to be able to auto it. He's going to be able to take it down quite quickly. But I think they might actually look to try for a pick. Olaf, always the man, always going to go aggressive here. Going to see if he can actually see something here. Clearing out wards in the jungle. With Tom Kench being spotted right now, actually going to be caught out right now. Teleport already comes down.
Headbutt pulverized, going to land onto the Graves, forced to run away. Channel goes down onto him. Veigar gets picked off extremely quickly. Is this an opportunity for the Saints to turn this around? Alistar way in the back line there, but unfortunately, Jin finds a death from Draven. X-Knight's going to go down as well, and a massive keep right under this turret. Draven getting a little bit of a knockback there onto the Grave. Camille chasing down, definitely going to pick up that kill. Is Shen going to go down as well? 3 very low health characters. Great angle being found there from the Camille diving onto that turret. Finds the Anivia. She goes down with no passive, and Shen's going to be the final character here. 2 characters left alive, but a massive amount of time. 20 seconds on Jin, 20 seconds on Ape Snipe. Are they going to have enough damage to push these 2 turrets and the Nexus down with one lane of super minions?
Yeah, 2 super minions coming in. I definitely think they're going to be able to actually get the 2 turrets here. They can hit really hard. Already taking down the first turret. The Trinity Force doing a ton of damage. Veigar actually teleporting in right here. They might be able to end the game. they play this properly. And lots of damage coming down. They're just going for the next. It looks like we've got the track. One more kill coming down to Jin. And more victors.
Absolutely high performance are your Saints Gaming 2018 League of Legends champions, taking this down in a 3-1 victory in this set. Absolutely massive. Great teamwork coming out of these guys. I'll be honest, it's my first time casting them, but I love their aggressive play style, and they absolutely use that to their advantage, pushing the action all the time, and an excellent win. They are the 2018 champions for Saints Gaming Live.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see the damage after that comes out.